Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can see me. We're having some technical difficulties today because my stream just cut off within like 10 seconds of going into it. So if we drop off, you've been warned. Fantastic. I thought I charged my computer, but I didn't. So let me look up what we're doing today. I want to get started on, oh, this is an awful song. Ew. Sorry, very distracted today. I wanted to do some mooncake prep. So mostly I want to cook off all of our lotus seeds and mung bean pastes, and that way we can flavor it for different flavors. I also want to make the pastry dough, which I'm going to write down really quickly before my computer runs out of juice. So pastry dough is 1 tablespoon water, half teaspoon baking soda, and we're going to boil that. Then we're going to let it cool. We're going to have 1 1/4 cup of all-purpose, 1/4 cup of cornstarch, which I don't have. Yikes. Okay, we'll have to think about that. 3 tablespoons peanut oil or any other oil. Then 1/3 cup of honey or maltose, which we do have. And then half a teaspoon of kosher salt. This is all Googleable if you just Google my name or Delish and then mooncake recipe. But we're basically going to cook everything in the Instant Pot today. We might toast some things in the oven as well. And I only have about an hour for this live today, so we shall see how much we get done. Okay, that sounds good. I'm gonna go plug my computer in and I'll be right back. Hello. Let me check some comments. Hello, good morning everyone. Seeing and hearing me. Hello, Philly. Hawaiian shirt in honor of Aaron. Not really. I just had my bra on while I was cleaning and I was like, I don't want to take my headphones off to pull a shirt over, so we put on a dad shirt. Hi, London. Hi, Philly again. And I hope I'm not your hero. Don't have heroes. You'll only be disappointed. And hello, El Paso. What is the most traditional mooncake filling? Probably red bean, lotus seed. Having coffee, bloop, 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 bloop. Malaysia. All right, cool. Let's get cooking. So I think what I'm gonna do is think about if I wanna toast some things. And if I do, we're gonna roast some sweet potatoes. And we might toast some oats, and we might bake some of these egg yolks, which I've had since before I got fired from Delish, because I bought extra for beauties. When I made cooking videos for Delish, I had to make sure I had enough ingredients to make it twice over. This is best before November 15, 2023, so we're going to bake all of these now. All right, let's turn on our oven because the sweet potatoes will take a while. It is finally warm enough, or cool enough rather, for us to bake things again. So let's take advantage of that. Who knows how long that'll be given to us for. I like this beat. This beat is called Peach VIP by Salute. Okay, we're gonna bake at 375 for the sweet potatoes. And then towards the end, I'll throw in the egg yolks. I think I'm going to puncture the sweet potatoes in half. That way they bake a little faster. Or maybe even in thirds. Cut side down. So that's what our sweet potatoes look like. Hello, Australia. Fred has been okay. Hello, Missouri. New Orleans, Florida. What up, what up, what up, what? Okay. I'm gonna set the timer for 40 minutes first, and then we'll think about how to toast these eggs. These are cured egg yolks, salted duck egg yolks. I might just go ahead and toast it on this, or maybe, maybe I want a piece of parchment underneath it, actually. We have many scrap pieces of parchment, and I'm just going to cut up one of them. And then we might think about halving or even quartering these, because I'm going to be making mini moon cakes, and I don't want the centers to be too big and unmanageable. So maybe we need a little more parchment to go down on here. How about that? How about that? All right. I'm very much in go mode right now, and I also don't have my computer, so I can't really read all of the comments. What up, Seattle, Brazil, Philly? Wow, more Philly. Lots of Philly peeps today. Hi, Texas. I think I'm going to do something weird to these egg yolks. I'm going to chop them up into quarters, put them in a bowl, and then we're going to toss them in a little bit of salt and sugar. Now, normally they already have salt. They don't have sugar, really. But I want to make sure that they're seasoned, because I remember using these for the Delish recipe shoot and being pretty underwhelmed by their flavorings. So we're going to try to see if we can hype them up a little bit today. Jazz it up. Supplement. Here's what they look like quartered. I don't know if I'll be making as many mooncakes as these yield. I think I have, let's see, 4 pieces per yolk, and I have 3, 4, 12 yolks. which means I would be making 48 mini mooncakes, which sounds like a lot, so we'll see how many of those actually get made. But I'm excited. I wasn't planning on making mooncakes this year, but I started joking about it on my Instagram stories yesterday, and I think it just took on a life of its own inside my brain. I mostly saw the lotus seeds hanging out in the drawers behind me, and I didn't want them to sit there forever and ever, because like most beans and seeds, like they don't taste any better the longer they sit anyway, so I wanted to use them up. And then I was reminded of having these egg yolks in the fridge, and I said, I've had them for a while now, I wonder if they're not going to be good forever, you know? So, it's time. It's time. We might also toast some oats, since we have the oven on, just because I like toasted oats. Alright, a little bit of salt, just a tiny bit, since these are already salted. And then we're going to go in with a little bit of sugar. Hi, Germany. I want them to like slightly caramelize in the oven when we bake them, so just shake it all about and coat them. And whatever sugar doesn't stick, we can save for the other ingredients that we'll be using for the mooncake. They look like gummies, no? Like those fruit gummies, jelly candies. Okay. Gonna try to space them out a little bit so that they don't caramelize right next to each other and get stuck. So just making sure I space it out sufficiently. Sorry if I'm not getting to your comments right now. I don't have my laptop. Poorly executed live. But I will go back and read later. This is like my first time baking these yolks. I remember a viewer once suggested that I bake them to make them tastier, so that's what we're trying this year. I'm not sure if it's gonna work, but I know the last time I did it could be better. So let's see if this yields slightly better tasting yolks. This morning I started off with spilling half a jar of toasted homemade almond meal in the freezer. So I'm trying to not do that again, but that's the energy level that we're working with today. So we have to be very forgiving, I think, of ourselves. Or me, just me. All right, let me set another timer for the yolks. I'm gonna do 7 minutes first and then see how they check out. Reading your comments now for a minute, and then I'm gonna go back to prepping. We're gonna be doing the lotus seeds. What are you doing? Oh. I did 7 seconds instead of 7 minutes. That was smart. We're gonna be peeling some lotus seeds next that was soaked yesterday, and we're gonna be taking out that bitter green stem in the middle. Hi, Missouri. Did I say hi, Missouri again? I probably did. Sorry. Brazil, Seattle, yeah, I read all of these. Texas, yep. Greece again. Poland, what up? NorCal. Why the parchment in the freezer? The parchment is used already, so I don't want it to go rancid, whatever oils are on there. It prevents bugs from getting to it too. Yeah, exactly. Kay Bullock knows. Hi, Germany. Are mooncakes ever savory? Yes, they are, depending on which region you're coming from. You're not sure what mooncakes are? There is Google for ya. But you can check my Instagram story because I've been posting Wikipedia screenshots to tell people. Freddie has not made an appearance yet. Salted egg desserts. Yep. Philippines, dough for pizza. Italy, always with COVID. Uh-oh. Jamaica. Okay. Next up, we have lotus seeds that have been soaking since yesterday. They're basically like beans. I'm gonna go ahead and dump this liquid, rinse it, and then we're gonna start peeling. Astoria, what up? Where's my strainer? Uh-oh. Where's my favorite baby strainer? I'm gonna be very upset if I lost that. Found it. No upsets today. Hallelujah. $1 from Japan. We love it. So lotus seeds. Ontario. Hello. Fred is probably hiding. I just vacuumed. This one has no center in it. This one does have a center in it. The center is bitter, so we're going to tear it out of the lotus seed. We'll set it aside for some tea. It's apparently really good medicinally speaking. If I missed any comments and you want to type it again, feel free to. Because now I can actually kind of sort of pay attention to the comments. Washington Heights, Indonesia, what up? We're just going to be splitting all of the lotus seeds to make sure no bitter green stems remain. Most of these don't have green stems because they were processed, but some of them do. So we just want to make sure that we get those out of there because we don't want any bitterness in our mooncakes. And then I think I'm going to put these in the Instant Pot with water to boil. And then I'm going to take my soaked mung beans and put them in a vessel and steam them atop the lotus seeds so that they take on less water. The lotus seeds actually take a long time to cook down and break down. Like a lot of hearty beans, they require a long cooking time, so Instant Pot is usually best. That one looks kind of questionable, so we're not going to use it. And then, yeah, I can't think of what else should be going in the Instant Pot. Probably nothing else at this point. If I keep adding stuff, it'll just take longer for them to cook. Munich is a tea from the Lotus Center bitter. Yes, it is kind of bitter, but most teas are if you think about it, right? If you overbrew it. What are you currently listening to? It's not FLO, that's for sure. I don't even know what FLO is. Is it a K-pop band? I'm listening to my release radar, so I actually have no clue what's playing. I can't see my phone. Bye, have a good night. How to get rid of anger, especially when you have no idea of the cause. Well, I think you diagnosed your first step already. You should probably take some time to figure out why you're angry first. It's hard, but that's probably most of the work. You don't just get rid of anger without knowing the cause. Like, you don't just heal a disease without diagnosing what it is first. So I think that's probably the process of getting rid of anger. The anger is a symptom, right? Like most emotions, they come from a place of fear, probably. I think all of our emotions are somewhat triggered by fight or flight. Let's see. How are... the yolks are cooking. Should probably have a landing pad for this, huh? Nice. Okay, we'll see how those cool down, and then if they need more time. Yeah, anger is a part of normal feelings, right? We all experience anger. The first thing to normalize emotions is to understand where they're coming from, and then to accept that we're all going to have mood swings. If you're having a lot of mood swings very quickly, that could be, categorized as a mental disorder. But the way the world is going, I wouldn't be surprised if there's more and more mental illness. First of all, mental illness, like most things in our world, is a construct. And so as long as we have a name and a guideline for diagnosis, we will start telling people that they have mental illness. So most of us have depression and anxiety now, and some of us have it worse, to the point where we get diagnosed with a disorder. So it's kind of like a sliding scale of sickness, right? But just because we have a name for the sickness doesn't mean that we always have a cure for the sickness. And I think what I've realized growing up is that there's a lot of money and profit to be made if there's more sickness. And so a lot of our world encourages illness so that they can sell us stuff to quote unquote cure the illness that they are breeding. So I think one very important thing that I've been learning over time in therapy is that you just try to normalize everything that you're feeling first, so that you can bring down the amount of shame that you're associating with that emotional response. And remember that your emotions are probably coming from a trigger of some sort, right? And so knowing that it's not you're broken and that's why you're angry, and knowing that, there might very well be a reason for why you're angry, is really, really helpful to forgiving yourself. And it's only after that you forgive and accept yourself that you can begin to dissolve some of the potency of these emotions. If you're always hanging on to, well, why am I sick? Why am I broken? Why am I this way? Why am I so angry? You'll probably not be afforded the ability to move on from that guilt and that shame, which simply compounds anger. So if we want to allow ourselves healing, we have to first make sure we're not terming ourselves incurable. And we're not trying to address the symptom here, we're trying to address the cause, because the cause is what's going to spur on more symptoms. So it's kind of like when you take out weeds in a garden and you don't want them overcrowding your actual crops and plants. You don't just pull at them, you try to get the entire root out, because if you don't pull the root out, it'll just grow right back, and it won't really be a long-term solution for the most part. So that's what I think. I don't know. Yeah, bottling up anger can definitely make you sick. Stress lowers your immune system. Stress apparently cuts down on your life expectancy too. It's just overall probably the worst thing for your health. If you think eating chips is bad, then stressing over the guilt of eating chips will probably kill you faster than the chips themselves. So try not to like masochistically punish yourself more than life is already damaging, you know, your youthfulness, because it's normal to get old, but you don't really need to make yourself get even older and sicker faster. You can try to self-preserve in ways that are more amenable to living out a life of less struggle. We are almost done with peeling out the centers. Yay. Okay. So I've just covered the container with enough water to cover over our lotus seeds. And now I'm going to try to move all my shit out of the way. Again, no foresight today at all. See if I need more water. Probably yes. I find that having more water in the Instant Pot will allow things to get cooked even more thoroughly. So there's that. And then for our mung beans, maybe we'll steam in this vessel. These are de-skinned mung beans, so we're just going to go ahead and rinse them out too. And you know, I might even want to cook them in the strainer so that the liquid can just drain out as needed. Let's see what the best way to do this is. Strainer on top of a strainer? Yeah, that might work. Got a double layer. The lotus seeds are beneath that. Manual, let's do 25 minutes. Lock that in, put this away. Okay. Hi Hi, UK. Let's read some comments. Grandpa Fred is in the living room, but maybe we can bring him out with a treat. Can you grab lotus seed pods from the wild and cook them? Maybe. Get back to me. I mean, maybe do your research first. I don't really know, so I don't want you dying. I don't want to get sued by Hearst by making my own budget each episode, but also, what's the difference between the videos I make now and the videos that I used to make for Delish? It's still me. Certainly I don't have as many, you know, graphic designs and illustrations and animations. And there's a little bit more of depressing grief subjects. But otherwise, I still think that I'm running the same show. I'm changed, so I'm not going to be able to produce the same shit over and over again. And I don't really want to, so, you know. I got a little sick of it. Think about making the same concept over and over again for 2 years. So, and then you added onto all the psychology of everything that happened at Delish. I don't want to touch that shit anymore. Let's taste a little bit of this. Could go a little more. Let's cook our lotus seed tea. I have some fennel and cinnamon stick in here, and I'm just gonna add the lotus seed centers in here as well. And we'll boil it. Then, shall we make a breakfast shake? I can show you what I've been drinking about 3 to 4 days a week for breakfast. It's pretty easy. People send me the funniest DMs, like stuff that you would send friends you've known for at least a few months gets sent to me. Okay guys, this is my fun smoothie. Some ice. I'm gonna fill up my ice tray, so give me a sec. I don't drink filtered. I'm probably the only friend I know who doesn't. I'm gonna go in with some cashews, like homemade cashew milk, almost. Gonna go in with a heaping scoop of chocolate protein powder. Maybe 2, depending on what I want that day. Here's my magic ingredient. Cooked oats. It thickens it up. Like really, 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 really well. So I use like half a cup or a cup, depending on how thick I want it. And it gives this nice banana-y viscosity. And then I go in with milk. And I'll rinse out the milk container. Protein powder tastes like garbage because it is. But if you are a trash panda like me, you don't mind it. I got some really cool green coffee beans from Mexico, and I plopped just 1 bean in. Whole. Goes in. I'm not sure if I'm missing anything else, so I'm gonna start blending this. It's gonna be loud. You've been warned, okay? But first I'm gonna shake it up a little bit so that all the dry protein powder doesn't just splatter up against the walls. All right, now we're gonna get loud. You've been warned. So I turn it down to low to see if I can hear any ice cubes in there, and if I do, I turn it up a little bit. And if it sounds mostly smooth, we're mostly done. I open it up, I check it. I feel like I'm missing something in here. What am I missing? All right, let's drink. I actually have some left over from yesterday, and I like it left over because of the coffee bean. It's basically like a cold brew. So it tastes way better the day after if you let it sit. So we're actually gonna pour this into a fresh jar and drink yesterday's now. Always smell your jar, just in case. Gotta check our egg yolks. It's freaking out. I smell egg yolks, so it's definitely cooking. Ooh, 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 they're cooked. Yeah. Nice. That'll do, pig, that'll do. Potatoes potatoes are nowhere near cooked, so they're gonna have to go a little bit while longer than originally thought. I'm gonna add another 10 minutes to it. Then for the old smoothie, I like to drink it with some ice. It's quite thick and I like it quite cold. Cheers. You can see the difference in color between here and here. This looks more like chocolate milk, and this doesn't. This is why you shouldn't get a bigger kitchen, because you'll just make a mess of all the space that you have. $11:44. I don't know if we're gonna see much more on this live, but let me talk through. Oh, I should probably make my dough, huh? Mooncake dough. I definitely left out something of today's mix, I think, but. All the dad jokes. Cynthia, you know, girl, you have the internet. Google's on protein calendar. When is the new spice from Burlap and Barrel coming out? It's out. 11:30 a.m. is when the email should have sent. Did it send? It sent. Did you sign up for the newsletter? Like I told you to? First of all, it really doesn't matter how much protein you need. It really doesn't. Like, all of these calculators and metrics and guidelines assumes a one-size-fits-all diet. If you really want to know how much protein you need, you're probably better off seeing a dietitian and a nutritionist. Most of us don't have the money to do that. Most Americans overdose on protein because of how much meat we tend to eat per capita. So just keep that in mind. Don't fuss over these little things that don't actually matter. What's probably killing us all is some form of societal stress. not having enough income, not having health care, having anxiety and stress all the time, being dealt with things that are out of our control and governments that don't actually work for us, and less so about your dietary habits. Now, you know that if you eat more processed foods, it's probably going to damage you in the long term, but at this point, I personally don't give a shit, so. If you undereat protein, does it work for you? Some people don't need that much protein. Some people need more protein than others. Coming from the cultural backgrounds that you come from will affect how you absorb things too. The way you were brought up, the kind of stresses you grew up under, the kind of attunements that your body has gotten used to over time. Try not to think that we have one answer for all of these questions. We usually have more than one, or we have zero answers, which is to say you should trust no one and pay attention to your own body, unless you are diagnosed with some disease and illness that needs special dietary attention. If that's the case, I'm not a doctor. If that's the case, you probably shouldn't trust the internet. You probably also shouldn't trust doctors, period, but consult with a professional, probably. That's it. These egg yolks are so cooked. Oh man. Let's taste a little bit. Oh yeah. I'm gonna have a very hard time putting this into mooncakes. First of all, because they're so crumbly now. And second of all, they're so tasty now, I kind of just want to eat them. Like this one. Wow. Baking them changes everything. Thank you, viewer, who told me to bake my yolks. Bake your yolks. Oh, the shoes in the kitchen, yes. I bought these shoes. They're men's. I think they're a size too big, but I'm thinking I'm gonna keep them because one, they were only 25 bucks. It doesn't make sense for me to send them back. It just seems like a huge waste. Two, they're a little bit wide, but winter is coming, so I might wear thicker socks. Three, they're a little bit wide, which means my toe box actually fits. So even though the length of the shoe is a little bit longer than I'd like, the width works for my feet. So I'd rather get a shoe that allows for my natural width to flay out than for a shoe that fits better but will crunch my toes in. These are canvas, so they will stretch, but I've also had very poor experience with canvas shoes before. So I think, given the faithfulness of my order, I'm just gonna stick with it. I'm wearing them indoors because I haven't worn them out yet, so they're technically clean. I'm also wearing them indoors to see what kind of rubbing occurs throughout the day, so that when I do wear them out, I know whether or not I can wear them out for a whole day or whether I should just stick to like a short gym session. You know, research. We're researching indoors under controlled variables. Cinnamon rolls in a kitchen that wasn't your usual apartment, and you look different as though you had a twin. That was in the Delish test kitchen. I probably looked younger and less traumatized because that was pre-pandemic times. I was really happy in 2019 when that was shot. And then the world crashed, and then my mom died, and then I got fired, and then I got COVID, and then I got really fucking old inside and out. So yeah, that in a way is my twin because I'm not her anymore. The bruise on my face may indicate a kidney problem. I had kidney problems as a kid. I've had this for several years, yes. Internet strangers who are watching, I appreciate your concern for me, but be aware that your comments will add stress to someone's life. So unless you know for sure, weigh the costs and benefits of your well-intended meanings to help them versus your actual consequences of stressing them out as a potential harm. Just balance it. Freedom of speech, though. I'm not going to stop you from saying whatever you want on the internet, but Robert, you can't wear these types of shoes because they have no ankle support, which is funny because I bought these shoes because they have ankle support. They're longer, so they extend upwards. They also come with super long laces, so what I do, especially with shoes that are a little bit bigger than I like, is I tie them around the top to kind of like cinch it like a belt. Stop pulling June apart, you freaks. I'm already pulling myself apart, so you're not really doing much more harm, but you are like encouraging the ruminations that occur inside my head. Like I've had this spot on my arm that I'm concerned might be turning into skin cancer. My mom actually had a very similar spot where it looks like a little skin tag mole. Hasn't gone away in probably 5-6 weeks, and I'm observing it. I'm also trying to not freak out on it. I can't afford to go see the doctor every time I think something's wrong with me, you know? This is America. So, you can make whatever comments you want on my body, since, you know, this is the way of the internet culture, but you will also suffer consequences in terms of feeling possibly internal guilt, for causing someone else harm if your comments are mean, whether or not you intended on it. And also you might receive backlash from people who disagree with you. So I still encourage freedom of speech. I think it adds diversity to the world we know now as the internet. But obviously there's a lot of ugly, violent shit that goes on everywhere, including the internet. So even though it's virtual, sometimes virtual violence does way more damage than physical violence, and as we know, our wars are being fought with drones and buttons now instead of actual knives and punches, and they tend to do a lot more destruction than hands. So yes, the socks are pink, and yes, they're very, very bad socks. They're sliding. Why be hurtful for no reason, though? There is a reason. There's always a reason for why people feel like they need to say the things they do and do the things that they do. We might not be privy to why they're doing these things, but there's always a reason for why they're doing these things. Let's toast some oats. Let's toast some peanuts, guys. I bought all these peanuts for Grandma, and she's not been eating them. Classic. Classic. Peanuts first. Seven minutes left on our timer, so that might be perfect. Come to Canada. You'll get me healthcare? Yeah, I would love to. We're in Canada. The theme for today is mooncake prep. I haven't made the dough yet, but I said I would only be here for an hour, so we'll see. Right. Negative perspective is just perspective. It's kind of like absolute value. I feel like absolute value is one of the most existential concepts I learned in K through 12 mathematics class. Absolute value is the value is from 0, and 0 is neutral, right? So the absolute value of positive 3 is 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. And then the absolute value of -3 is also 3. 0, -1, -2, -3. And so -3 and +3 both have absolute values of 3. In a way, negative comments and positive comments are just a matter of perspective. And so they all have absolute value. It's just which direction the value bends that you may not agree with. Can we talk about thrifting in New York? Yeah. What do you want to talk about in terms of thrifting in New York? The coffee has all settled to the bottom, so it's super delicious down there. Let's think about dough. I hate this song, so I'm gonna exit out. It's called Unexpected Ways by Paolo Tosio. Not a fan. We do need to cook that baking soda mixture a little bit. So maybe we start with that. So baking soda, I think, is calcium bicarb. We need calcium carb. And I think adding heat gets rid of one of those carbons, but I'm not sure. We're gonna need 2 tablespoons water to 1 teaspoon of baking soda. It's not a lot, but it's all we need. Oh, I hate this song too. We're just gonna bring the baking soda up to a boil. What filling for the mooncakes? Do you not follow me on Instagram? I'm thinking of a couple of different flavors. They might all turn out pretty gross, but I think I won't really do that yet. What's the occasion for making mooncakes? It's about to be Mid-Autumn Festival. What's the best spot in NYC for thrifting? I like La Pointe Value in East Flatbush. It's really hard to get to though. It's not really center of the city. So if you're just visiting, you'll probably not go there. You'll probably go to Greenpoint. Nice. Okay, I think our sweet potatoes are done. I'm gonna cancel the bake. I'll let everything stay in there to get extra toasties. Lala does not like mooncakes. She hates sweet things. She thinks she'll get diabetes. All right, that's up to a boil. It's fizzled a little bit. We'll just let it cook and cool. Let's see, I might want to make a double batch. Where did I put my, I'm losing it guys. Where did I put my oatmeal pat? Frick. Hi, I give up. Okay, I'm thinking experimental dough. I'm thinking a little bit of whole wheat flour, a little bit of almond flour for a little bit of a nuttier, different vibe than usual. So let's make a double batch. So 2.5 cups of AP. All right, I'm not gonna do all whole wheat, so let's do 1 cup of AP. That's 1 cup of AP. We'll tear that out. We'll do 1 cup whole wheat, or actually maybe a little less than 1 cup. You can't do a 1-in-1 conversion of whole wheat to all-purpose because whole wheat takes up a little more water and dries things out more. So if 1 cup is 128 grams, let me go in with 100 grams of whole wheat. All right, 100 grams of whole wheat. And then we'll go in with 1/2 cup of almond flour for nuttiness. When I spill flour, I like to clean it up immediately. Flour is powdery, it goes everywhere. The longer you hold off on cleaning it up, the further it travels all over your kitchen, and I'm very weary of bugs and roaches and all of that, so Flour is one of those things that I just can't wait to mop up. If I have a spill, immediately. It tracks so easily along surfaces. So that's why I'm moving slow. Okay, comments? I don't have a P.O. box yet. Yes, my mom likes the crusty style flaky skins too. That's why she doesn't like the sweet things, and they were not too sweet, so. Red beans is not quite the same as kidney beans, although kidney beans is a form of red beans. I would say when I say red beans, I mean azuki beans, so they're a smaller bean. They're a lot less tough on their skins than kidney beans. I think they're also nutritionally a little bit different, so. I don't have a P.O. box, guys. I don't have a P.O. box. So, there is this almond protein powder that I got from the Fancy Food Show. It's, I think, just almonds. So I'm gonna use some of this first, actually. That was 30 grams. Let's go in with 30 grams of our own toasted almond meal. Okay, so that's our dough. Very experimental. And next up is six tablespoons oil. I have some coconut oil that I want to use. But I don't think we have 6 tablespoons worth. I think we can definitely use some of this ghee that I had around for a long time. Yeah, I got this like before Mom died, I think. Let me melt this. Six tablespoons of oil would be approximately 90 grams total. This is only 15 grams of coconut oil. My original recipe calls for peanut oil. I don't have peanut oil right now. I have peanut butter though. Just a little bit, because I ate most of it. Okay, our grains are cooked as well. What timing? So I need 75 grams of ghee. Wonderful. Smells great. Wrong lid. Yeah, you kind of have to be either in the industry or an influencer to get to these food expos. So I think you have to have like a minimum amount of followers on Instagram if you're going as an influencer, or if you have industry connections, like you're working for one of the brands who is tabling there, or you're in the industry and you're there as a potential buyer. The Fancy Food Show is a trade show. So it's not really meant for outsiders. It's more so for people who are interested in sourcing products for the upcoming year. So I'm supposed to go in with a half cup of cornstarch, but I don't have cornstarch. And so, what should I do, guys? What should I do? I have other flours I can use, for sure. But I think I might just go with all-purpose flour, honestly, at this point. Yeah, let's just do that. It's easier. Okay. Roughly half a cup of all-purpose in here. And I need a half teaspoon of salt. And then after our oils are distributed, I'm gonna hit it with our honey maltose. We're gonna go, let me make sure I have everything doubled in here. I think we're good. But honey and maltose, okay. This year, I'm gonna throw in a little Chinese essence with red sugar, which has a highly molassesy medicinal taste. We're just gonna add in a teaspoon of it because I don't want to overwhelm the flavor profile. It can be very overwhelming, but I like to throw a little hint of culture in there, you know? Alright. Let's go in with our hands and give this a nice good mix. Break down any clumps that remain. Why do I keep getting sucky songs this week? I don't think Spotify likes me. This dough smells so good though. It's very nutty. It's a very oily dough. Mooncake is not a diet food. It's very holiday, very sugary, buttery. There are, of course, low-fat versions. I don't even know what the point of those are anymore. Mooncakes have always been expensive, which is why I'm making them. Mooncakes have always been expensive because they're very labor-intensive. They require a lot of time, a lot of components, a lot of ingredients, a lot of fat. And if you buy the good stuff, they use good ingredients. Right, I can't play music on these lives because copyright. Even when my neighbor played music through their window and the sound traveled into my window and I couldn't even pick up what song that was, YouTube flagged it as a copyright infringement. And then I had to share my monetization on that stream with the label that owned the rights to that song that I couldn't even hear. So I'm not here to give money to big ass companies that treat people horribly. So that's why I don't have super chats on. That's Well, I don't do a lot of things. I'm also convinced that that wasn't even the song they were listening to, too. For sure. It's okay to play any song in YouTube Shorts because they probably have different legalities around it. Copyright law is very touch and go. Everything is arguable. I'm too tired to argue, so I don't play that game. That tastes legit. That tastes like lard, which is what mooncakes historically use. Wow. Holy shit, that tastes amazing. I hope it holds as a dough. Do you read speak Chinese or only, do you read write Chinese or only speak it? Oh God. I am mostly illiterate in Chinese, but I can read some. I can't handwrite any, for the most part, but if I know how to say it in pinyin, usually machines are smart enough to help me type it out. And since most communication is electronic, so I need 2/3 of a cup of these sweeteners. 1 tablespoon is 20 grams. 1/3 of a cup is 5 tablespoons, so about 110 grams. I need 110 grams. Okay. I love cleaning out jars of stuff in my pantry. But after I make this dough, I'm going to put it in the fridge and let it rest until we're ready to assemble. I'll put the eggs in the fridge too until we're ready to assemble. But I'm gonna have to head out soon. Log off more like. Gotta live my life outside of the phone. Sometimes I have one, sometimes I don't. Maltose. It's very hardened. Oh God, it's so hardened actually. I don't actually know if I can use this anymore. It's so hard, it's like taffy. Ooh, let's dump it out into a microwave safe bowl and see if we can warm it up. Wow, holy shit. That's intense. Oh my God, it's bending my spoon. Ah. Holy shit, y'all. Oh my God. Ooh, girl. What the fuck? Art. Art. So beautiful. So beautiful. I don't actually know if this is going to be enough, but let's see if it melts first. I think it is Mayatang, yeah. Maltose, Mayatang. It is melting a bit. It's supposed to give this like very sticky taffy like texture to your confections, but my house is so dirty. The bottom of my shoes is very dirty. Whoops! We cooked it too much. Gotta get it in. Still have a little bit extra in there. I'm glad I didn't go in for more. Good for waxing, huh? Ouch. Although that hot maltose hitting the ghee, hitting the almond, hitting the flour and the honey, that smell is so amazing right now. And once it cools down a little bit, I'm gonna go in with my hands because spatulaing this together is not going to work in the long term. We should probably use this up. This says Best Buy September 10th, 2021, guys. Whoops. It's sugar though. Doesn't go bad. Okay, finally a good song. Good News by Jamila Woods. Thank you, Jamila. Love this song. I might actually need the rest of that maltose. I guess maltose is not as liquidy as honey is, and so it's not binding as well as honey is. It's a lot drier than I anticipated. Sorry, not sure what's going on with my color balance here. And I have maltose stuck all over my nails. Maltose is not an ingredient for the faint of heart. For sure. All right, we're gonna pop this back into the microwave. You just saw my password? Okay. Not much I can do about that, I guess. Not much in my life worth stealing, y'all. I kind of give it all to you right here, right now. That's the beauty of telling everyone everything all at once. They don't really have much they need to look for elsewhere. I can change all my passwords. Somebody will still find a way to hack it. That's the world that we live in now. You're also gonna need to like steal my phone to use this password. So I guess you can come steal my phone first. And then you can see what kind of boring ass trash food I have in my photos library, if you're into that kind of thing. So, you know, every day I like get an email that's like, oh, I'm so sorry, our databases were exposed. Your information has been leaked. You can sign up for this CreditWise tracking, and we'll cover it. But we can't do much for you besides telling you to monitor your credit after our systems were so weak that people stole your shit. Like, okay, thanks for letting me know, I guess. All right, we're gonna taste this dough. I might have to stream in some liquid. Yeah. Okay. It's a little too crumbly for my liking. I'm thinking milk rather than more honey. Or, ooh, yes, what about this? What about a little fancy maple? Oh, God. Okay, maybe not. Maybe not the maple syrup. It was not meant to be. That was probably like maybe a little more than a tablespoon. And we're gonna go in little by little because I don't want to make the dough too wet. But I think I fucked up the proportions from the original recipe because of using the maltose instead of the honey that the recipe was developed for. I was told to use honey because it would be more accessible to people, but maltose is the sweetener of choice in most traditional mooncake recipes. I don't care either way. I think most people can't taste the difference anyway. But it might lend a textural difference for sure. All right, we're getting there. Nice, nice. You don't want the dough too wet because when you put it into the molds, it might not come out if it's too wet. It might just get stuck inside the molds. So yes, the white balance keeps changing on my phone. I don't know why. But AI knows best, guys. Don't question it, okay? AI knows best. It knows what color temperature we should be looking at. Trust your overlords. The time has come for us to stop thinking. We have taught the machine all that it needs to know to become better and surpass the teacher. We have relinquished our powers and thought to an impartial judge of rationality, pure and simple, chaotic and nightmarish. All hail the zeros and ones. All hail the meaning of life. All hail 42. Yeah, that's why every mooncake costs like $10 now, because this is a lot of work. Isn't it, guys? Isn't it? I'm sweating here. These mooncakes better turn out. I'm gonna be so pissed if they don't. Jiayo. Mooncakes with weed. Okay, there's a clump of maltose here, and I don't want it in the final product. So I'm just gonna go ahead and taste it. Taste the dough, check for seasoning. Do you need anything else? I actually think I need a bit more salt. I like the pastry to have a little more depth of flavor, and salt can certainly help with that. It also will help balance out the sweetness of our interiors. Okay, I'm gonna need this for like 60 seconds more, and then I think we can go offline today and live our lives and do things, maybe not. Oh, but I do need to puree. Oh shit. I should puree the lotus seeds while it's still warm, you know? Another clump of maltose. Mmm, tastes better. Yep. Salt is good. Salt is good. we think this container can hold all this dough? Oh yeah, no problem. So we'll just lid this and let it chill in the fridge. Mmm, yum. Buttery, sweet, nutty. I would probably eat that on its own. Guys, shit, we forgot to add in the baking soda. You didn't even tell me. Dude, why are you even here? Why are you even here? JK. JK. Whoa, this song, Jesus. This might mess up our consistency now. This dough might be too wet. All right, baking soda in. They don't really need leavener. The baking soda is there for color, I think. Baking soda helps things brown. The bicarbonate, or carbonate rather, is used often in Chinese cooking to make noodles and stuff. I think it just imparts a golden color. It's the same thing that lye does to pretzels. You know how pretzels darken? That characteristic toasty caramel color? That's because of the lye. And so sodium carbonate kind of mimics lye, is what I've been told. And sometimes you can see that homemade pretzel recipes call for a baking soda bath rather than a lye bath because not everybody has lye hanging around at home. feels pretty good actually. It's releasing. It feels moist enough. It's pretty oily. Definitely needed that baking soda to bring out certain smells and tastes and flavors. Ultimately, you want the dough to be like almost the same thickness and consistency as your fillings. That way when you're wrapping them, they don't fight with each other too much. They don't slide around and, you know, not cooperate. The more similar the textures between the layers, the easier your assembly process will go. I'm trying to press out all the air so that it can hydrate. And we're gonna do one last taste test. A little pinch. Good. I approve. I can show you Fred before we log off if you remind me, but I still have to process the lotus seed right now. Let's see if it's naturally released yet. Mung beans are mashy. Nice. Ooh. Ooh, that's hot. Okay, we're actually going to, well, I'm going to save the lotus cooking juice in this coconut oil jar. We might need this liquid to thin out any pastes. I might drink it, might use it for anything. It's good water. It's got lotus essence in it, you know. But I do want to try to get as much liquid out of there as possible first, so that, whoop, I could have been bad. I don't have to spend a lot of time cooking it off later. All right. hot liquid in the honey jar and a hot liquid in the coconut jar will help us rinse out the remnants too. So it's a twofer. I'm just going to add our leftover sugar in here for now. Sorry, you're not getting much action, are you? Does anybody want to look up my mooncake recipe and tell me how much sugar goes into the filling portion with the lotus? Or you know what, I can do it myself. Don't you worry about it, girl. So easy. That's why I have two phones. 3/4 cup. And a lot of butter. Okay. So much for doing other things with my day today. Whoops. Let's go in with our sugar. Three-quarters cup. That's a lot. That's 1/4. That's 2/4. Now normally I would be cooking this down on the stovetop, but I might have to do that later. I'm just preparing like a base paste now. Here goes the butter. It's a 1/4 cup. I think we might, when we cook this down, add more maltose because I think that's gonna help us gel a lot of this to a taffier consistency, which I like in my mooncakes. I like my mooncakes to be like super densely fudgy. And one of my favorite things about being fired from Delish that manifests in my current everyday life is that I can go back to my old recipes that I developed for Delish and I can be like, yo, I can tweak this to be better. And they don't get to have the updated recipe. The updated recipe is gonna be mine. Ghee is not exactly the same as butter. Butter has dairy fat solids in it, the milky parts that separate out when you melt butter. That milk component is gone in ghee. So ghee is basically a more processed form of butter where it's all fat, no dairy moisture left. All right, let's taste this for quality control. Ooh, that's not sweet at all, which is great because despite adding almost a cup of sugar in here, we're gonna have to add more maltose when we cook it. And maltose isn't as sugary as sugar or honey is, but it will provide that moisture that we want, that consistency that we want. So, great. And once I have these filling base, I can eyeball and see how many different flavors I can do. Now I don't want to do more than 4 because my molds actually have a limit. I only have 4 different molds. So other than different patterns on the molds, I wouldn't be able to really know what fillings each mooncake is because they'll be fully enclosed. Here's our lotus. And now for our mung beans, steamed. You're so depressed you need budget eats? No, I think you might need like a social interaction or maybe some therapy if you can afford it. Budget eats gives me depression to make. So if you want to make your own budget eats, buddy, by all means, you go for it, girl. This is a double batch of mung bean, so we're gonna need 1.5 cups of sugar in here. It's gonna be a lot of sugar. I'm warning you now so that you don't become scandalized, but Nathy Peluso. She makes good music. We like it. Thank you, Nathy. I like how we've developed an internet culture because of, I guess, capitalism's principle of supply and demand, and always trying to supply the demand eventually, that people will just keep asking for things even though I've stated multiple times, no. No means no, guys. You can take it up with Hearst. Tell them to stop firing people. Or maybe like fire more of them so that we can have all talent be free and collaborate together to maybe hopefully form a slightly better media. Pasty. Love it. All right, 1.5 cups is a cup and a half. A cup is 16 tablespoons. 1.5 cups is 24 tablespoons. 24 tablespoons is 12 2 tablespoons. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wow, that's scary. This is why you make your own stuff so you know what goes in it. 9, 10, 11, 12. Woo! Sugar me up. Over an hour and still live stream? Yeah, are you new here? We've had 6-hour streams before. I'm not sure about this song. Jockstrap, that's a no for me, bro. My immersion blender is overheating, so if this spazzes out, that's surely a sign for us to stop going live. Mooncakes are made of sugar and oil. That's it. Traditionally speaking, that's why it's a celebration food, right? Very calorically dense, a treat, not an everyday occasion. Supremely labor intensive to make with a shit ton of ingredients. in mind that oil and sugar were not always as cheap, so it's a luxury. I also need half a cup of oil in here. There's 250 watching me immersion blend beans. Like, all right, whatever you guys like. I'm happy to be here for you. Whoa, that's way sweeter than the Lotus. Not sure what's going on there. That was only 3 tablespoons of butter, so I'm gonna need to melt a little bit more. Or maybe we can use some olive oil? Maybe a little... I just don't really want to melt butter, guys. But actually, since this is over sugared, I almost wonder if I can get away with a little less fat. You know how low fat stuff has more sugar in it to offset? Okay, so we have 4 tablespoons in here for a double batch, which is half of what should be in here, but let's see what this blends out to. It smells like freaking popcorn in here. It smells so good. My immersion blender is burning, burning, burning in my hand. It probably wants to rest right now. Okay, it's serving some gangsta wrap. Not really my thing. Texture not as smooth as commercially processed, of course. There's still some grainy bits, but let's give it a taste. This will do really well as a blank slate, I think. I have to wash my strainer, I'm sorry. It bothers me when strainers aren't washed because strainers are the other thing that I never hold on to for too long before cleaning. Strainers, because of their little tiny holes, tend to trap more stuff as you rinse off dirtier dishes in the sink. And they just get harder and harder to clean. Not a fan. Okay guys, I think our live is 16% phone battery power away from ending. So your expectations have been set. We're probably not going to last another 15 minutes is my best guess. Any final questions, observations, comments, positive or negative? We're here for the absolute value of things. Speak your mind. Let it be known. This is a chef's treat. Our lives are 16% done. God, I hope not. I hope mine is like at least a third of the way done. More than a third of the way. Because if I have to live 2/3 more, that means I'm gonna have to be 100 years old. I'm not really enthusiastic about that thought. Yeah, I'm gonna have to change the title of the live now because it's no longer an hour. This is delicious though. Holy crap. Addictive. I will keep tracking this mooncake baking project either here on Instagram. One or the other. Fred, yes. Thank you for the reminder. Let me have my bean paste first, though. Priorities. What is this synth pop magic that just popped up here? I don't know your name, but I like you. Palace in My Head is the song name. want Fred-shaped mooncakes? Yeah, not happening. I want a lot of things, baby. Are you paying me to see Fred? Good. If not, I get to choose the conditions under which you see Fred. Dealer's choice, the house always wins, right? The playlist I'm listening to is my release radar. Yep, Thank 9 Stars is my Instagram handle. It's also my handle here on YouTube now because YouTube allowed everyone to change their handles. So, Thank 9 Stars. If you want to know the significance of that name, it's my Chinese name, literally translated into English, is Thank 9 Stars. It's gonna make a lot of mooncakes, y'all. Fred can't give consent for being on stream. He's a cat. Consent is a human construct, I believe. Very interesting flavor on these mung beans. They still have a little bit of their greenness, I guess because of the steaming process. It didn't like cook them as mealy as they would have if they were immersed in water. It's giving this very interesting flavor profile. I like it. All right, guys, thank you for joining me. I'll show you Fred, and then we can log off. Capiche? Here's our labor. Freddie, baby, can you come out? What if I give you a treat? Hi, baby. Let's grab him a treat. Freddie? Want to come out? It's a treat. Guys, I don't think he wants to come out. But there he is. Freddie boy. Buddy. I don't think he's very happy, guys. He's not even eating the treat that I threw to him. Sorry. All right, Freddy, say bye-bye. Bye, y'all. Thanks for watching. Hopefully he'll feel better next time.